Good afternoon. For 4 News Now, I'm Rob King. Welcome to today's kxly-plus-daily rundown. I'm going to take you through some of the top local headlines and give an inside look as to what the 4 News Now team is working on today. Let's start, as we do most days, with a look outside. So we'll turn it over to 4 News Now weather anchor Mark Peterson.
Our Thursday continues. There you go. The haze persists. I was going to combine those two somehow. I'm Mark Peterson, the First Alert Weather Center here at 4 News Now, Spokane, Washington. 90s all the way through the weekend. In fact, low to mid-90s Saturday and Sunday. We're going to see a shift Friday, but that's really the shift for better air with less smoke and haze. We'll talk about it. Taking a look at the next 12 hours, Riverfront Park's going to be packed this weekend with people enjoying the hot weather. Today, it's going to be hazy. 4 o'clock should be at 90 degrees. We're expecting at 8 o'clock, temperatures still into the mid-80s, and at midnight, about 70 degrees. We will see highs today into the low 90s all over the place. In fact, 87 at Spirit Lake is going to be the cool spot, so definitely warming up. As we look at our planning forecast, it's all about the low 90s today, tomorrow. Shifting air on Friday, winds coming out of the southwest, bringing cleaner air into the area, improving our air quality Saturday, Sunday, low to mid-90s, mid-90s again on Monday, and then cooling a touch, still above average Tuesday, Wednesday, with upper 80s expected. We'll continue to keep this up to date and track that air quality for you. I'm Mark Peterson. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mark. Let's get into what everybody's working on today. Jordan Smith following up on the bomb threat at Spokane International Airport that grounded flights for several hours yesterday. We do have new information in that case, and that suspect is expected to appear in court today, about a half hour from now. But the new information is we got court documents that kind of detail the affidavit that shows what led officers with probable cause to arrest the individual. So what we know right now is that the man was Brandon Scott. He's the suspect in this case. According to the affidavit, he was sitting first class on that flight from Atlanta to Seattle. He then is alleged to have written down a threat of an explosive on a receipt, handed it to a airline attendant, who then gave it to the pilot, and that forced the grounding. Now, part of the reason that Scott says he did this, he did admit to the FBI that he did this, knowing that it was fake. There was no bomb actually on the plane, but he told FBI that if he landed in Seattle, he would be taken by the Sinaloa cartel and killed. So he said he purposefully got the plane directed to another airport besides Seattle. He said he also considered maybe assaulting someone or trying to open the door, but he wanted to divert that plane. This is all according to the court documents. So he was taken into custody, and again, the suspect, Brandon Scott, will appear in court today. Now, we also know from the court documents that Scott has a previous criminal history, including kidnapping and robbery charges in we believe, the state of Kentucky. So again, that is new information this morning, and that's why those threats were made, and that's why that plane did get diverted to Spokane en route to Seattle. But according to Alaskan, it appears that the people who were diverted have successfully now made it home to Seattle, and the people who were using Seattle as a layover to Spokane have also just stayed home. So that works out there. And again, Scott will appear about 1:30 today in Spokane County Court, where he faces federal charges of providing false information and hoaxes. That's what's listed in the affidavit. So Jordan Smith will have more details coming up tonight. You can also read about the story right now at kxly.com. 4 News Now's Peter Choi. He is looking at new fire restrictions put in place by the Bureau of Land Management. Now, because of high fire danger around eastern Washington, the BLM has prohibited people from making a fire. You can only make a fire at a developed campground in a provided metal fire ring. So you cannot make your own fires right now. It could be a possible citation, and that's because everything's so hot, everything's so dry. So BLM wants to get ahead of fire danger, especially now as we're in wildfire season. So they wanted to mitigate that risk, and Peter Choi will have more details on that. Vanessa Perez, she is working with the Spokane Police Department today, where it looks like they might be getting some new technology. It's going to be some sort of automated speeding camera. So what we believe right now is that the camera is going to be able to better read if someone's speeding by a cop car, they get pulled over. It's going to help law enforcement be able to give more speeding citations. So Vanessa is working to find out more details, because we had a lot of questions here in the newsroom just wondering, what is going on? How does that work? Are you just going to get a ticket in the mail like you would a red light camera? So Vanessa will have those details answering our questions coming up tonight. Bronte Sorotsky, she is at the Trent Avenue Bridge, where they have finally completed construction. On Monday, there will be a ribbon cutting celebrating the opening of the East Trent Avenue Bridge, which goes over the Spokane River. They've been working on it for a couple years now. The old bridge, if you'll recall, was demolished in 2020-2021, having been 100 years old, so it had served its purpose. It was time for a new one, so WashDOT is celebrating that success. Also, the construction completed 6 months ahead of schedule. So Bronte is out there today. As you can see, this is a picture of what the bridge looks like now. And again, that ribbon cutting is on Monday. Hopefully ease up traffic congestion a little bit. Elson Martinez, she is looking at a local Spokane family, in particular an 8-year-old girl, Natalie McNichols. Now, McNichols was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 5 years old, and she's been selected to represent the state of Washington, going to Washington, D.C. to advocate for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. So Allison is going to be speaking with the family, speaking with the 8-year-old about the excitement to represent the state of Washington and advocate for research into juvenile diabetes. So that's what we have for today's KXLY Plus Daily Rundown. Thank you for joining. Be sure to download KXLY Plus on your connected TVs. That's Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Also, be sure to download the 4 News Now mobile app and turn on notifications so you can get the latest breaking news in your community. So thank you for joining. Be sure to tune in to our newscast tonight, 4 News Now at 5, 6, and Nightside for more information on those stories we talked about. Some of them already up on our website, kxly.com. But for now, live in studio, I'm Rob King for KXLY+.